This video is sponsored by PCBWay. More on them in just a bit. Alright, so last time we finished prepping all these pieces, the helmet and the rest of the armor, and so this time we're finally gonna get to some painting. So, but before we do that, let's take a look at the helmet one more time. We need to come up with a way to keep the back together, so initially I came up with the idea of the straps, and so I would only have to pull it, but you see how it goes in? And I'm afraid that if I do that, it's going to start scraping the paint off once I do paint it. So we may need to come up with a different way to do that. There's a few different things we might be able to do, but until then, let's take a look how it fits. I think it fits pretty good. Comes off fairly well. If I'm really careful, I might be able to get away with this because I like how tight it feels on there. But so let's look at this method. These unfortunate shaped filament pieces. These are old rafts that I had from a print, which look very phallic. I'm gonna go ahead and super glue these on here to test something out. So my idea is to do a type of magnet clip situation. So we get those together, we put some of these magnets on here. I'm gonna put this other piece of plastic on there. We are gonna glue it, and then the other side is gonna be on the other end of the helmet, and so that way we can just clip it together just like that, and then we're going to glue that white piece that has the other side of the magnet onto it like this, and then I should be able to take it off and put it on with it clipping. But let's see if that actually does work or not. We want to make sure it lines up. Okay, so I put a ton on here, so there's about 5, and as you can see, it does clip on, which is good, but it is still very, very loose. It will fall off very easy. You see how easy it just comes off? So even with 5 of those magnets, it is not really strong enough to keep it in place. It definitely does not replace having those magnet holes on the actual helmet. So we're probably going to have to pivot. Before then, let's go ahead and paint the armor. We're going to do this gloss black on all of this like this till it's all nice and covered. Alright, and for the chest piece, we're going to start with red. We're going to let this dry and then later tape it and then do black again. But right now, let's start with the red and make sure we get it on there evenly. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry, both of these pieces, and then continue after that. And we do want to get to this helmet. Alright, so this is dry. This is the next day. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take some painter's tape. We're going to cover up the entire bat. And then after that, we are going to paint the whole thing black and then immediately remove the tape. I have found that if I leave the tape overnight, it will leave a residue. So I want to take this off immediately after painting it black. Alright, this is all ready. We are going to do the gloss black over it. I just want to make sure all the tape is pressed on there so we don't get any paint bleeding through, because then we will have to do the red all over. So let's go ahead and hope for the best, and we're just going to cover the whole thing. It doesn't matter that some of the red got on the chest piece. The black is going to cover it up. Even if it does bleed through, it'll still look pretty cool. So alright, we're going to let this dry just a little bit, maybe a few minutes, and then we're gonna take the tape off, just like that. Looking awesome. I love it. Okay, let's finally get to the helmet. We are gonna start with this gold metallic paint. We are gonna cover it on there, and then later do the red, which will hopefully let the gold shine through. Because if we don't do gold, the gray is gonna go through, and you're gonna see all the blotches and stuff. And I learned that from my Spider-Man, my Iron Spider helmet, trying to use some of this automotive paint. Alright, here it is, all gold, and you can see that there are still some scrape marks on there. It's not as smooth as I like, so I'm gonna start over. Alright, so we sanded that all down. I tried to get it a lot smoother than I did the first time, and then we are going to go ahead and do the gold again. And after that, we will do the red. But right now, we want to put together the armor pieces. We're going to take some leftover filament, my melting tool here, and we're going to put this together first with some tape. This is some old Velcro pieces that have pretty strong adhesive, and it's going to hold it together while I plastic weld it. So I'm going to take some of that leftover filament with my melting tool. The melting tool is basically a small soldering iron, but it does not have the temperature knob on there. So here it is, all nice and welded. The only thing about the non-temperature knob is that I can't dictate how hot it gets. But as you can see, it still did the job. Looks cool. It is in one piece. So now we can move on to the next bit. Alright, so I redid the gold. We are going to do this duplicolor perfect match Chrysler red color. And we are just going to go ahead and cover this. And the gold is going to make it look pretty cool. So let's go ahead and cover this whole thing. Just like this. There you go. As you can see, it looks beautiful. That is sparkly. This video does not do it justice. It came out really great. But before we get to the next part where we color it red, a word from our sponsors.
Just want to take a second and thank our sponsors, PCBWay. If you don't know who PCBWay is, well, let me tell you, they are your one-stop shop for manufacturing needs. They are best known for their custom PCB boards, but now they also offer design services. So from start to end, they can help you bring your ideas into reality.
Alright, so here's PCBWay's design page. So every single step of the way, they can help you create your design at your specifications. From the design phase, firmware, software, every single thing to get it to your specifications. Here are some examples of different projects. This one was made from a custom PCB board for an arc reactor from a different creator. Okay, let me show you how you would go about ordering something. So up here you have your different options, PCB layout, machinery, but if you click on PCB design, from there you can click all the other options right there. So you would go ahead and put your title, as much information as you can on your design, upload any useful files, size, where you're going to use this, as much information as you can to help them help you create the thing that you want. After that, you're going to submit it to them, they're going to review it, and then after that, they will send you a quote.
Links in the description, check out these services and let PCBWay bring your ideas into reality.
Alright, moving on to the next part, we are going to do the black now. You can see it came out really, really well. So what I like to use for the black is an edding pen. Which I'll show you in a second, but so you can see this looks great. I'm super happy with that. So here's the edding pen that I like to use. We are going to go ahead and start coloring in the eye like so, just like that, and the other side. Now, normally I would take the pen and just go through and do it all in one, but because I'm a baby and I'm scared, I'm gonna go little by little with this tiny brush. Honestly, if I did the pen, if I was brave enough, it would be fine, because I've done it before with another Red Hood helmet, and it turned out great, but I am afraid because of the type of paint that I'm using. By the way, I got the idea for the edding pen from my buddy, Reed Cosplay, who is on Instagram. Definitely go check him out. I'm going to mention him again in a little bit, because he is a huge help to me. He is basically my mentor and all the creator stuff on here, all the maker stuff, and especially making these type of helmets. So we'll talk about him a little more in a second, but definitely go check out his Instagram. He does amazing work, especially Red Hood helmets. Okay, so I'm going to keep going through here. We're going to color it all red. I am taking the paint from the edding pen, and I took it out of there, and then I'm using the little brush. Just like that. You can see I messed up a little bit, which I feel like I wouldn't have if I just used the gosh darn pen. like I was supposed to, but alas, we are just going to move on from this. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Okay, so this is what I am going to do. So the original idea is Frankly Built has a video on this where he uses these magnets, which are used for purses, and he shows you how to do a system where you're basically creating your own clips for your helmet to keep it together. Now, my buddy Reed Cosplay, he showed me basically how to do it the same way, and unfortunately I was not able to replicate it very well. So I'm going to refer you to Frankly Built's video for a proper tutorial on this, because I was not able to do it correctly. The idea is to melt one side of the magnet onto the helmet itself, but my melting tool does not get hot enough. Now, if I was using an actual soldering iron, it would. So what I ended up doing is just doing hot glue. Now, be careful with the hot glue, and even with the soldering iron, because if you get the magnet too hot, it will demagnetize it. And I actually did that with the hot glue to at least 3 of these different magnets. The magnet got really weak because I kept messing up, and I kept using the hot glue over and over again. The idea is to put one side on one part of the helmet, put the strap with the other side of the magnet, and glue it down. So then you just have the little strip with a magnet on it, and that just clips on there. Now, I did a botch job on this. Like I said, my buddy Reed Cosplay, he did this amazingly. He showed me exactly how to do it, but unfortunately I am not skilled enough. Definitely go check out Frankly Built's video on that if you want to know how to do it. Alright, so then I put a bunch of different foam pieces on there to get a better fit. So you do want to put it on and kind of see how well it fits there. I put a little strap to kind of hold it together like that while I figure everything out. I used a lot of hot glue, like I said. Not the sturdiest thing. If I could melt it on there, I would have. So then I took some foam to cover up some of the strap and some of the hard parts so that it would fit a little more comfortably. Now, you see how I'm putting the glue directly on the foam? Yeah, don't do that because it's going to melt the foam. Put it on the hard surface on the plastic and then put your foam. Otherwise, it is not going to work out. Here's my original Red Hood. This is a Budwin file. This is the one that my buddy Reed Cosplay showed me how to use that editing pen. And as you can see, the black line was flawless. So I wish I was brave enough, like I was last time, to do that. Now, before, I wasn't scaling these to me, so I just went ahead and plastic welded this into one piece because I was not expecting to ever do any kind of cosplaying. But since I've lost some weight, I'm a little more brave about it. So you can see the difference here, and they both look awesome. I think my old one still stands up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the eyes from my old one, because I'm going to use those on my new one for the actual cosplay. I'm going to take the white plastic that was on there and tape it onto the old one, so then it still has white eyes while I display it. Now we are going to take these eyes and I'm going to try to hot glue them on there. Now this was the first version that I did. Now because the main light was in the middle, it was actually shining onto my eye and it was making it very difficult to see through. So what I did is I flipped it so the light is on the outside, but as you can see, again, a very botched job with a lot of painter's tape, just trying to keep everything down. But you know, you guys can do better. Do not do what I did. This is just me getting frustrated and just trying to finish this. So yeah. All right, so in the front, there is plenty of room to put the battery pack. And I put the little switch at the bottom, so then I just put in my thumb to turn it on and off. And the helmet is big enough that that little magnet box isn't going to bother me. And the foam pieces, to make it fit right, it's going to take a while to make sure that everything fits correctly. But once you do, it's going to look awesome. You see these little white pieces inside? I put those so then the mask would not fall into itself and scrape the edges like I was having it do when I had just the elastic. Now I'm wondering if I just did the elastic, if I put those white pieces on there, if it would have saved it. Because as you can see, it was just starting to mess it up, and so I just kind of had to stop doing that. But I think it kind of helps, at least a little bit. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with it. It's gonna work for what I need it to be for. Definitely not a long-term plan, but before we do anything else, there's nothing left to do but the glamour shots. Alright, so normally that would be the end of our video project after finishing the helmet, but next time we're going to finish doing the cosplay. That is the shirt I'm going to use, the pants I'm possibly going to use. These are some combat boots we're going to try. But next time we are going to put all of this together, do a full cosplay, get some really cool pictures, and just finish off this entire project. We're going to talk about this jacket next time as well, but yeah, I'm very excited to finish this, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and put in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications, and we will see you next time.